Hey guys, what's up? Ashley back here with Media Glitch. Got my good friend Malik Daniels. So happy you're here, sir.
So happy
I
to be
haven't
here.
been here in a minute, so I've missed you guys. I'm happy to be back on the couch.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So today we are talking about the movie Money Monster. Now this is a suspense thriller, really, a financial suspense thriller, if you will, that involves a guy basically hijacking a TV show because he made some poor decisions in his life, and he felt that was the answer to solving it. I really don't want to divulge too much here. So it stars George Clooney, who plays Lee Gates. He's a host, a charismatic host, really, of this show called Money Monster, where they talk about stocks and stuff. It also stars Julia Roberts, who is his director of that show. So cool, calm, and collected, Miss Julia.
Not to mention Jack O'Connell, who is the essentially the heist man, the hijacker, and also our main antagonist, but also, you know, essentially our main.
I'm like, you almost... I can say so many things. Okay. I'm not going to tell us who directs it.
It's directed by Jodie Foster, wonderful actress, Academy Award winner, and this is her fourth film that she's directed. It's been a minute, but it is. But
it's like her first major film, really, like feature film, like that
this
everybody.
Yeah, this one has a little bit more of a theatrical expansion than previous.
Sure. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Tell us what you think, buddy.
Okay, so going right in, I think you had said it quite well that it is kind of a throwback film. Essentially, it's kind of like the films of like the 90s or the 80s, where it was this kind of techno thriller that is about this system, Wall Street and the bank system and corruption, and this ragtag group kind of having to work against and work uphill to kind of solve that problem, which is a good formula. It works really well. It's something that I mean, like, we're kind of used to. But what is nice about the film is that it has great pacing. It has some nice twists that didn't see coming, which is really, really interesting. And then another thing that kind of works for it is that it's so well built in terms of the cast and their chemistry together. Yeah. But there are some aspects where the film falls a little bit flat. Yeah. Honestly, walking away from this film, I would watch it again if it was on television or so, but you kind of don't really need to watch it again. It's a one-off.
I for sure agree. Yeah. So it mostly takes place inside the studio. So you have the cameraman, the floor director, the technical director, the director herself, really, it's Julia, producers. So you have the whole show environment, which I actually really dig. I worked in news for a little while. I worked on film sets. So that environment I really love because I totally understand it. One thing that I really enjoyed about this film is there were some twists and turns that I didn't see coming, which I felt for this kind of movie walking into it, I was expecting to predict a lot, and I didn't. They surprised me. Julia Roberts is fantastic in this movie. Yes. Like I said, she plays the director of the show, so she's used to a high-stress environment where it's crazy, and she has to make all these calls on the fly and like expect all these things and anticipate. And I think that helps her be like able to handle a hostage situation in this case the way she did. Very cool, calm, and collected. She can speak to him in his ear. He has an earpiece, so she's kind of like helping Lee navigate this stressful situation.
She's like another negotiator, essentially.
But better. You know? Like sometimes you see those hostage negotiators come in, they're like, I got this. And you're like, okay, dude, you're just going to make this.
And that actually even happens in the movie.
It does, actually, yeah. So I felt there were some moments where the pacing actually was great through the whole thing, which I appreciated. But there were some moments, like when we left the studio, that I was like, meh, you know.
But I feel like that's what also made the third act a little bit more interesting because it was really claustrophobic and it played off of that being stuck in the studio.
Yeah, I mean,
but once it left, I mean, like the suspension of belief. You've already seen it in the trailers, but you can see that George Clooney's held hostage being walked down the street, and there's just tons of New Yorkers who are just there in support. And it's like, no, I don't think if there was a bomb threat, like, would you?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. So well, let's hot dog this bad boy. I'm going to go first, if you don't mind, sir.
Sure, yeah, feel free.
Okay, so this is a moment where I kind of wish we had half hot dogs. Because there were some great moments in this movie that I enjoyed. The pacing was great. I thought Jodie Foster did a great job directing, and the performances were stellar. However, there was nothing in this movie that blew me away. I didn't walk out with my jaw on the ground. I wasn't like totally shocked or surprised. Like, I will only watch this movie one time, even if it's on TV. I will probably keep, you know, flipping channels. So for today, in this moment, I give this 3 out of 5 hot dogs for Money Monster.
Okay. Jack O'Connell was considered one of the actors last year to watch, and I still think that this year he has proven once again that he can throw himself into a role and that he just kind of commands the screen.
Totally.
And I think that Jodie Foster knows how to get and elicit awesome performances from her actors, as well as tackle a story that balances it quite well. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 hot dogs.
Okay.
The only reason it's fallen flat on that last hot dog is, honestly, I don't want to watch it again.
Okay, that's a pretty good reason.
and also, I think, without ruining the ending, I don't feel like I fully get the resolution that would make me more satisfied. And it's kind of hard. It's a hard film to have a resolution that works.
Sure. I felt it resolved fine, like, because it was just kind of like, there were several options. Once you see it, you'll understand, but there are several options that you could go with to end and wrap up this movie, and there were several that I'm glad they didn't go with, because it would have lost a lot more hot dogs for me. You know, predictable, like, recaps, here's what happened, you know, blah, 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 whatever. So I felt it resolved the way it should have, just based on the pacing throughout the rest of the movie.
See, and I'm just going to say that character motivations. I think a really good point that I thought about after I saw the movie was that George Clooney himself, yeah, it's just never mind. Never mind.
Okay, we're going to pick up that thought in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching again. I'm happy to be back with you. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching this on live TV, please head on over to YouTube so you can see us there and catch up on everything else that we've done. Comment below, tell us if you've seen it or if anything's coming out that you'd like us to review. So on that note, we'll see you next time. Bye.